As we've seen, this can be a great system, but there are one or two little issues, and here are some workarounds. This first one is a real bug. Ideally, you want Logic to chase the meta events so you can start from any point in the project. Provided you've set Logic to chase meta events in the project settings, this should work. But it doesn't work when you use score symbols and text in the same region. Text on its own will chase, but when there are also score symbols, the text will be ignored. Score symbol meta events will override the text. A workaround is to use a music font which has score symbols. This means you can use all text events for dynamic markings, ornaments, etc. So, if there are only text meta events in a region, chasing works. If there are only score symbol meta events in a region, chasing also works. But if there are text and score symbol meta events in a region, only the score symbols will chase. Next, we have the problem with text position. You need to change the value of the second data byte in the event list, as you need to differentiate between different words to operate different key switches. Sadly, this also alters the vertical position of the text for no apparent reason that I know of. It makes sense with lyrics, as you might want verse 2 on a different level to verse 1. So, after adding your text and changing the value, you need to use the layout tool to get the text into the right place. In order for symbols to trigger key switches, they need to be listed in the event list as metadata. This works very well for many of the dynamic markings and ornaments, but some symbols which are attached to notes such as staccato, accents, falls, etc. don't normally create meta events. Okay, I'm adding a dot here, and as you can see, nothing happens in the event list. So to create a meta event needed to work the key switch, I hold the Option key down while writing the dot, and you can now see the meta event in the list. The drawback is that it's now independent from the note, and you need to be careful to position it correctly and be aware that these will not change position if you use a transposing staff style. This next one is not really a bug, more a feature that needs to be added. After using a symbol such as a trill, you naturally want the following note to revert to the previous articulation. This can be done by adding some text or a symbol, but although this can be useful for you as a composer, it's superfluous and annoying on a printed part for a player. Ideally, we need text that can be seen on screen but is hidden when printing the part. I have a couple of workarounds for this. The first method is to create a separate text style for hidden text. Then, just before printing the part, change the size of this text to 1. It will be practically invisible on the paper. The second method will hide the text altogether. Simply assign a different channel to it in the event list. You will see the text in the event list but not on the score. In order to be hidden, you must use a number higher than the number of staves in the part. So for standard dual staff for piano part, you would change the number to 3. With any luck, Apple will get around to fixing these. You can help by contacting them. We now have a dedicated page to give them your feedback, so please use it. In this section, we'll look at using a combo remapper with more than one instrument. If the instruments are using the same articulations, they can all share the same remapper, which helps keep everything nice and neat in Logic. In this example, I'll use our original little Calypso tune and add a second trumpet. First, I create another instrument. If I do this by holding Option and dragging, I get a duplicate and it's automatically still cabled to the remapper. Now I need to name them. By making a multiple selection here, if I type trumpet 1, the second one gets automatically named sequentially, i.e. trumpet 2. All I need to do now is give this its own channel. I'll use 2, but it could be anything as long as it's different to 1. Next, we create a track in the arrange and assign it to our second trumpet. I've already prepared the part. I did this by transposing trumpet 1 down a bit and altering a few notes to get a good harmony part. You can use exactly the same symbols and text, but we'll probably need to do a little bit of repositioning. Okay, back to our contact instrument now, which still has the remapper connected. In order to respond to both channels of our arrange instruments, we must make sure the MIDI channel here is set to all. Finally, in our contact player we add another trumpet and assign it to receive on channel 2. If you prefer, rather than using a multi-timbral instrument, you can achieve the same thing by using two separate software instruments and adding a channel splitter after the combo remapper to send channel 1 to here and channel 2 to there. Using this method, you can either set both channel strips to all MIDI channels and each software instrument to 1 and 2, as with the previous method, or set the channel strips to channel 1 and 2 respectively and both software instruments to Omni. What if you need more than 6 score symbols or types of text? All you need to do is add another combo remapper and cable it together. Or if you don't want 6, you could add them in single units. So there's one, there's another one, and I just cable them. That one to that one, that one to that one, and that one off to the channel strip. There we go, simple as that.